Good morning. We will pay attention to transactions with debtors, and our first transaction is credit sales with a debtor where you sell goods to them and they will only pay you later, so they don't pay for it immediately. When we sell goods on credit, we will issue an invoice. The entity uses these credit invoices to record the credit transactions in the creditor's journal. A statement of account will be sent to the customer at the end of the month to indicate what is the total amount that's outstanding and to remind them that they have to pay for their debt. The debtor is an asset and will increase on the debit side when goods are sold to them. First of all, if we look at the debtor's journal, we will have a column for debtor's control and a column for cost of sales. Now, if we look at these two columns, we see that we have this 1,400 only in one column, and we have the 1,050 only in one column. So that means that is not a double entry. We will have to complete a double entry, do two entries for the 1,400, one debit, one credit, two entries for the cost of sales, 1,050, debit, credit. Okay, so in the debtor's journal, we will show the document that we issued to them, the name of the debtor, and for instance, we sold to Nell for 800, and we will calculate the cost price as 600. Then we sold to Brink for 600, and the cost price is 450. At the end of the month, we will add up to see what is the total figure. In the debtor's ledger, the entries are recorded on a daily basis so that you can determine how much money the debtors owe you. So on the 11th, when we sold the goods to Nell, we will show that the debt increases with 800. A debtor is an asset, so it increases on the debit side and decreases on the credit side, and then the balance is 800. When we sell to Brink, we will also show the invoice number. His debt increases on the debit side, and the balance will be 600 at the end of the day. If we record these entries in the general ledger, it means that we have to record a double entry. In the debtor's ledger, there's no double entries. You will just record the information about a specific debtor on a daily basis, and all the information of a debtor will go into one account. If I look at this total of 1,400, it means that I must complete a double entry. First of all, the debtors owe me the money. Assets increase on the debit side and decrease on the credit side, so I will debit my debtors control account. The account that I have to credit is sales, so the word that I will write in there will be sales, so that I can see immediately that I will have to go to the sales account on the credit side to find the double entry of 1,400 there. And in the sales account, I will write the word debtors control so that I can show that this figure is on the debit side of the debtors control account. For the cost of sales of 1,050, I will show that my assets decrease because now I've got less inventory because I sold some inventory. I will show that this double entry will be in the cost of sales account, and I will debit cost of sales because that's an expense, and expenses increase on the debit side and decrease on the credit side. What did we learn today? When we sell goods on credit to a debtor, we issue invoices and we will record all the credit sales in the debtor's journal. The entries in the debtor's journal will be posted to the individual accounts of all our debtors in the debtor's ledger on a daily basis so that you can determine immediately how much money is owed by each debtor. The entries in the debtors journal is posted to the general ledger to complete the double entry that we require in the general ledger. The debtors control account is opened, and this is used to record the total sales for the month. So the individual entries is recorded in the debtors ledger, and the total entries for sales or returns is recorded in the debtors control account. The total amount of all your outstanding debtors in the debtors ledger must therefore be equal to your debtors control account.